Well, I'm not going to play a sandbagger. I mean, all right, let's stick with 1d4, Queen's Gambit. Thanks. That was a good game. I know Black, I think, defended that one really well. Okay, we got a Slav. Well, let's develop our knights, as is usual. Bishop f5. This is too early. We're gonna punish this one because the bishop leaves the queen side too early, and queen b3. This one's gonna hurt. But I'm sorry. Everyone has to learn at some point. I'm sorry, but that's how it works. I'm doing them a favor by punishing them brutally. Oh, did GM Hess mention us? Oh, that's awesome. We are big fans of Robert Hess. He has done the commentary for actually, I think, all of my Speed Chess Championship matches. And I always watch it back because he's actually, I think, incredibly fast commentator. Like, he sees things very, very quickly and is very good at pointing them out. So I always find his stuff instructive. I think my favorite duo are Hess and Naroditsky. I think they're just like, I mean, hilarious, obviously, but also just like so fast and always on point. Okay, so this is the problem. Like, Black wants to put the queen here, but like it just runs into this tempo, so it just doesn't work. And the bishop is really missing on c8 in this position. Yeah, Hess is super instructional. I mean, they use the engine a little bit, but they definitely don't rely on it. Like, honestly, I think they just have the engine for the fans, because people always want to know, like, what's the evaluation. Can I beat Hess? I mean, if I got lucky. He's definitely a strong grandmaster. Okay, queen c8. So we can take this pawn if we want, which I think we do, because that's a pawn. So let's go ahead and take that one. Just, I don't see any tricks. Yeah, Naroditsky, of course. Danya is also very, very instructive. Like, as far as how strong someone is, times how instructive they are. Like, Hess and Naroditsky are like two of the pound for pound the strongest players in the world. Players / commentators. You know, it's like Svidler, it's like Peter Leko, and then like Hess and Naroditsky, basically, you know, in terms of how good their commentary is and then how strong they are as a player. Alright, good luck, Mikhail Talfan. Good luck. Alright, bishop e6, so they got a tempo on our queen, of course, had to defend the mate. Let's now bring our queen back. We can give queen b5 check, actually, just to keep the tempo. I kind of like this one. And Black here either needs to like kind of pin themselves, which is not the most comfortable thing, or allow us to take the bishop after bishop d7. Okay, so knight d7. So now they do want to play a6 and kind of unpin, so we should be mindful of this one. Kind of just want to go bishop d2 and get my rook to c1, but a6 is going to happen, and then knight takes e5, and I don't really want to have to take back with the pawn there. So let's think about this one for a second. Maybe we just take on d7 right now. We'll just take the L. Black will probably take with the bishop here, yeah, because he doesn't want to trade queens. He's down a pawn, but you know, we got an extra pawn here, so I'm kind of happy with this. I'm just going to back my queen up. Extra pawn. I don't think Black has any kind of special lead in development, and we're just going to develop ourselves here. Do we want to go e4 or e3? I think we want to go e4, guys. We want to develop actively, take a little bit more space. Otherwise, bishop c6, that would be hard to kind of deal with. Okay, a5, a4. Not super worried about this one. I just feel like my queen should have a square. Can even play a3 here. But do we really need to know? Let's just develop. So if a4, we'll go queen d1. And then if check, which is bishop d2. Oh, okay, this was the idea. I actually didn't realize this. My bad. Maybe I should have played it. This was my instinct. And then suddenly I was like, okay, well, that's kind of a shame that we have to move our king, but not the worst thing in the world. Because we're still going to take over the c file, so we're kind of in good shape. I mean, I like Jan Gustafsson a lot, but I feel like he does a lot of commentary, and so it's not always the most instructive thing in the world. His opening knowledge is very instructive, but then, like, I don't know, once the round starts dragging on, I feel like, you know, he just wants to talk about other stuff, which is totally fine. Like, it's very entertaining, but I would suggest my students to watch others for, like, the instructive value. Yeah, but when it comes to the openings, I mean, he really, like, he does offer some really interesting stuff. Okay, we want to deal with this one. Maybe we play king e3 here, but that seems like asking for too much. But it is possible without knights on the board. I learned that the king can do this sometimes. No, this is too much. Let's go king e2. And then if queen f4, then we'll kick him with g3. Oh, do we get some more followers? Oh, I missed it. Oh, thank you for following. We're at 7870. All right, we're trying to get to 7900, guys. I think it's going to happen. I have a good feeling about this. I think this is our lucky day. Okay. So here we just got to start getting our stuff in. Let's just play a3. Let's just, like, ask black to chill with the pawns here. Hey, Gunny Slayer, thanks for following. Now the queen is just gonna park on this perch. Gotta love squares like this. And we, you know, we're enjoying our extra pawn, guys. I mean, it might be hard to use this one, but we are enjoying it. And we will continue to enjoy it. Alright, queen f4, couldn't resist. Totally understandable. Now if he gives check, we're gonna play f3. Or she, I don't know. Okay, f3. Now queen can be really annoying. Yeah, queen h3, always kind of threatening to come in. Let's just play king f2. We can kick this queen out with bishop f1 if we need to. So I like our position. Bishop is still kind of bad. We got the c file. We got some squares. I'm not worried about the b pawn. I'm not going to take the pawn until we're in an endgame. Until we're safe in an endgame. We just don't need it. Okay, rook c8. So the trading has begun. Now we can go queen e7 here. Kind of annoying move. Or even queen d6. I don't really see what black is doing, but wants to take on c1, of course, so we have to deal with this threat. Yeah, let's trade, actually. Although we can consider taking on b5. No, actually no, I don't want to allow rook c2 check. That would be too much. So yeah, on rook takes c8, I think we're gonna go ahead and get frisky with our queen. Question is where exactly? I kind of like queen e7. Oh, so we can go queen h4. Oh, beautiful. Nice little billiard ball bouncing off of the e7 square. Force a queen. Actually reminds me of this famous game Smyslov won against, I think it was Keres. Smyslov Keres, where he plays queen h4, trading off the queens, doubling his own pawns, but he goes into this endgame where it's like super strong. So kind of same thing. Bishop e8, that's fine. Rook c1 would be a funny move if it didn't allow queen takes h2. And let's just force it off. Let's just say bye-bye. Let's just say bye-bye. Alright, we're gonna take. And then the idea is that there's just no entry squares, right? So the c-file doesn't matter. We're just gonna bring the king in, we'll walk the rook in, we'll trade the rooks, and then we're gonna win the same color bishop endgame because these pawns are on light squares. Yeah, Forsooth gets it. They get it. Trebel81, thanks for following. Okay, g6, that's fine. We can even throw an h5 here as kind of a nice move, but do we need... Actually, yeah, it does kind of improve our structure in the sense that we get to either trade off our pawn or play h6. That's interesting, Cloudsight. You know, Karas is one of my favorite players, but I feel like he gets very little credit, actually. Not very little credit, but he's not, like, well known. Like someone like Karpov or Korchnoi. But what makes you like him? Smyslov, obviously, like, world champion, so he's kind of more famous. But Karas was really strong. What do I think of whose endgame book? Smyslov or Karas? Because I haven't read either. But which one were you asking about? Okay, I haven't read it. I've only read a little bit of Karas. I have one of his books, actually, that I've been meaning to read. But he's actually known to be a very good author. Okay, we gotta be precise here. Play f4. Take more space. Yeah, I've always thought Karas was one of the more instructive players. Like, really interesting games. He's like known to be this like very strong attacking player, but I mean he has like a lot of like positional how do I put it? He has a lot of like positional understanding as well. Okay, let's should we trade this one finally? Alright, let's finally trade. And then we're gonna go rook c1. If bishop takes, maybe rook g1. Yeah, Karas also a very practical player. And there is this game that Karas won against a young Bobby Fischer that I've always thought was really interesting. If you guys want to look it up, it's this Caro-Kann, like 2 knights Caro, where Karas just kind of slowly outplays him and outmaneuvers him in this like knight versus bishop position that I thought was really well played. I mean, to outplay Bobby Fischer, even though he was like 15, I mean, still, no joke. Actually, I actually did a class on Karas for the US Chess School. Like, you guys know the lectures that we do. I did one recently. Unfortunately, my computer just like was struggling, so I couldn't stream it and do the class at the same time, so I just had to do the class. But I actually did the lecture on Karas, so I showed some games. And unfortunately, it wasn't saved, so it wasn't recorded. It's never going to see YouTube. Maybe I'll do a different lecture on Karas another day. But here we go. This is the exact endgame that we wanted, and now this pawn is lost. And as we can see, the same colored bishop endgame was good for white. We predicted the future. And that's it. Now we're gonna take the b5 pawn, and with it goes the game. Even if the king managed to like get to b6, I think it would be really difficult for black to hold this one. Okay, e5, good attempt. Absolutely. I think we want to just keep it simple here, so let's take, and then we're gonna give ourselves a protected passer. Even though it's on a light square, it's fine because we're... Now if black had an extra tempo, get the bishop to g6, that would actually be maybe somewhat unclear, but now we just take with the king, so no biggie. Yeah, Karas is an amazing player. Lots of like really strong attacking games, exchange sacrifices. He had a lot of really good exchange sacrifices, and this was a guy who was like around the same time as Petrosian, right? So they both had some good ones. Okay, now we're up 2 pawns. And at this point, all we need to do is promote them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get on that. Just get on this main task. Boom, boom, boom. A5 here, A7, GG. Could probably pre-move it, but no reason to. 3 pawns. That's true. We're up 3 pawns. But to me, it's like, it's these two that are winning the game, you know. D5 pawn, I could take it or leave it. Obviously, I'll take it. I don't know what I'm saying. It's, okay, queenside pawns are good. All right, let's push. And then I guess bishop a8 is going to happen. Otherwise, it's kind of tough. Anyway, king a5, bishop c6, b4. Yeah, what I meant by pre-moving is that like our moves are like decided. I didn't actually mean I don't pre-move when it's like, you know, because the opponent could play like bishop takes d5 and you pre-moved and then you like lost 2 pawns all of it. So I don't pre-move when it's like there's a chance that it can go wrong. But what I meant is like our plan can be played against any like normal moves. So yeah, I just wasn't clear on that. Okay, king c7. There's a couple things we can do here. We can just force the trade of bishops. I think that's the easiest thing. Just go for the king and pawn endgame. Because we give up a pawn, but it's just going to be immediately over after b4. Hey, Pizza Racer, how's it going? All right, let's just get our king in. And we'll play here. And we'll advance this one next. Okay, g4, that's fine. Now this position is actually really easy to win with the 2 pawns. A lot of players I know are like afraid of like the stalemate or whatever. Okay, there's no danger of stalemate if you're careful. And actually I think the way you win this is you just push both pawns. You just push. Like here, okay, you can go a7, king e8, b7. King takes a7, king c7. Or you can go b7, whether the king was on b8 or a8. Like if here it's easy, we're gonna go b7. But if the king was on a8, you would just go b7. King b8, a7. Again, so you can just push both pawns either way. Either way. a7, b7, b7, a7. Easy. All right, this one, okay, is happening next. And now the fastest way to queen from this position is this move, which forces the king to back up. So this is a good one to know whenever you need to like quickly checkmate. You can pre-move this one if you're like down to 2 seconds. And then the king has to go back up, and then of course you can pre-move that one. Sticking with 1d4. c6, we're playing just kind of classic queen's gambit here, just d4, c4. This is what I was playing for many years before I started switching it up kind of in recent years. And yeah, I just want to kind of stick to the basic principles. So a lot of people do this. They develop their light squared bishop too early, honestly, in this kind of position, and this bishop often gets kicked around and it gets missed on the queen side when the queen gets to b3. So how do we want to do this exactly? I think we want to either play knight c3 or take one. If we play knight c3, then e6, black has a chance to defend. So I think we just want to take immediately. Takes, we can think about either queen b3 or knight c3 first, and then queen b3. I think both are going to be kind of annoying. All right, queen takes. That's fine. We'll get this tempo. Nothing is hanging. And then we might even get another tempo with e4 against the bishop. So this doesn't seem very good for black. All right, queen a5, fair enough. So e4 now is pinned. And we can calculate, though. e4, take, knight c4... Queen can at least defend the bishop, like queen f5. Yeah, not super clear, right? We sacrificed the pawn. Maybe g4 there. But it feels very sharp. I don't quite feel it working for white. We can also start with knight c4. I think this would be kind of the simpler choice. So this is what I'm calculating. Knight c4, queen b4, attacking the knight. We go e4, hitting the bishop, and then bishop takes e4, a3. We win the piece. Queen b3 also a very good move here, absolutely. 100% good move. But I'm going to go with this just because this was my first idea. Hey, JB. Yeah, we are back. We are grinding, guys. We're going to try to get to 8,100 today. I decided our goal should just be like 100 followers per day. 20 days, we'll hit 10,000. Easy money. So we just need 100 per day. All right, knight c4. I'm going to hit black with e4 and take the space. All right, bishop g6. So what are we doing here? I think we're just gonna continue developing, like bishop e2. All right, we're just gonna castle. And I love our position. We got the center. All right, bishop b4, black is developing. Maybe wants to take. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just advance this one. I think some players often are not sure when is the right time to do it, but here it's like the pawn was hanging, we get maybe control over the d6 square, so we have ideas like maybe bishop f4, knight d6 is quite interesting to me. We can also start with a3 here just to see. Actually, let's play a3 because this forces black to give up the dark squared bishop, which is a really important piece. I mean, takes knight d5, we'll just give a check on d6. After bishop takes c3, we can give a check here. Alright, so bishop a5. We can take this one, but then our second knight is going to be very far from d6, kind of hard to get there. So I think I want to give knight d6 check first, and then kind of decide. I don't really want to play b4 because the bishop will actually prefer to be on b6 so that it can attack the d4 pawn. I think I actually prefer the bishop to be on a5 here, as it's just not really doing anything. I'm never worried. I'm never worried about BC here. What is the Codice attack? You're gonna have to be more more specific. And then while you're on it, what is the Goldsmith defense? I haven't heard of either of these lines. Okay, now first idea is to just try to like open up this one. Can also just develop like bishop g5. Or even bishop e3. Bishop g5 kind of invites h6. Not sure I really want to do that. Queen a4 is a funny move because it prevents black's idea of c5, but other than that, I don't really see why it'd be so good. Another move I can consider actually is h4, just trying to play h5, and then if black plays h5, then we get the g5 square for bishop. I'm gonna try this one actually. I think it's kind of interesting. Oh, Codice. Speaking of the Codice attack, so that's just h4. Got it. No, I don't think I want to do a speedrun. I mean, speedruns take a long time, so I think I want to stick to like very serious, common openings, popular stuff that like many people play. Like I think a lot of people, you know, they like the d4, c4, just fighting for the center. Okay, so black goes h6, but that's fine. We'll shut the bishop down because now f7 is gonna have kind of slightly less protection, and we can even think about trying to get the queen to f3. Yeah, why not actually? Let's play bishop c4. And we just want to play here and play for this attack. Yeah, we got to 8K last night. That's right. Okay, knight f5. I think we're just gonna go ahead and bring in the reinforcements. So if black wants to trade, we're totally happy for that. Yeah, so now we have a goal. We're trying to get 100 followers a day. So today we got to try to get to 8,100. I don't know what you guys can do about it because you're already following the channel. But I think if we just verbalize the goal, then it's more likely to happen. Hey, what's up? I am Baboon. Against d4, if you want something simple, I would go with the Slav, d5, c6. That would be my choice. Okay, knight d7. Let's think about queen f3 here. And just putting pressure and making it difficult for black. So we're just trying to activate our pieces. Yeah. Alright, knight b6. I think we can take on e6. And if we want next move, we can push b4. Alright, so this is probably just walking into some kind of mate. Okay, resigns. GG. Yeah, I think we can... I would just take here and then take this one. That would be kind of a funny way to finish it. To keep the run going. Alright, sticking to the Queen's Gambit. Okay, Dutch defense. So against the Dutch, I actually like starting with g3. And then we're going to wait to play c4 later. I mean, it's going to happen, basically, no matter what. But we just kind of want to see what black does first. And they can have, like, different options. They can go for, like, classical or Stonewall or Leningrad. So, lots of ideas. Yeah, we do need another mod to make predictions. But it's kind of a shame because then they can't. I'll just make the predictions. I'll just do it. All right, d5. Let's play queen c2. Bishop e7. And I think we're just going to develop here. So actually the typical way of developing is knight h3. The knight can come out to f4. I don't think it's super necessary here. But let's just start with... Yeah, let's start with this one. And then this knight can come to f3. Alright, castles, castles. Alright, we can do these predictions. Okay guys, so this is for the next game. Alright, knight c6. So attacking this pawn, actually, I wish I'd played knight d2 earlier, because this one is actually kind of an annoying attack. Let's play rook d1, we'll defend the pawn this way. So 25 moves or less, that means the game has to be over either by checkmate or resignation. I don't know. It's tough. It's going to be tough. No promises. Okay, knight e4. Good move. Now I think we're just going to start developing our stuff. I wanted to play knight d2, knight f3, but now that the d4 pawn is hanging, it's not so easy. Actually, maybe I'll start with a3 here because... This knight b4 move really is kind of an annoying tempo. And if g5, we'll just play f3 and chase the knight away. Alright, a3. Why not e3? I just didn't want to block the bishop. I wanted this bishop to still have a chance to get outside of the pawn chain. But it's not easy. Bishop f6, black is playing well. Black is really not making it easy for us. I think we have to play bishop e3 here. Some habits. I've been trying to stick to good chess habits. Alright, e5. So this one I think is a little bit too loose because we're taking and we're opening up the rook against the queen. So I think we're going to take on e5 and then take on d5. Yeah, but what Aman is doing, I think it's like pretty funny actually. And I'm not sure it's 100% serious. Knight takes e5. Alright, so we can take on d5. Or we can play knight f4 and try to take another way. But knight f4, knight takes c4. Maybe we can take on d5 in that position. Knight e3, knight takes e3. Or we can just take on d5 right away. And then queen moves and the next move's not so obvious. Yeah, I want to get our knight into the game, so I'm going to play knight f4. And then on knight takes c4, I think we're taking on d5 with our knight, because if rook takes and there's knight takes c3. Okay, knight g4, also possible, but doesn't take our pawn. So we can take here. And if knight e3 hitting everything, we'll just calmly recapture. Extra pawn, though black did get the dark squared bishop, so definitely some compensation for black as well. Yeah, I think like the idea of the habits thing, it's good for the lower levels, right? But once you get to like even a little higher, like 12, 1400, like you do have to use some tactics to win games. So. All right, queen e8. So I think I just want to develop this guy. Knight c3, maybe knight d2, just not to double our pawns. Let's play knight d2, just keep it simple. Bishop g5. So I think we just gotta take here and hope for the best. Try to trade queens and get into an endgame with an extra pawn or two. At what level is the Albin popular? I think it's more popular at lower levels. It's kind of a tricky opening and like doesn't have the best reputation at higher levels. Hey, Chess Latte, how's it going? Alright, bishop takes c3, let's take. So if black wants to double our pawns, he's going to have to go into the endgame. And they're going to be double pawns, but they're going to be extra double pawns. So from our point of view, totally worth it. We'll happily go into the endgame and we'll convert this one. It won't be easy, but I think it'll be relatively straightforward. Okay, doesn't want the endgame, but then we keep the healthy pawns. Now let's see. I think it's time to develop actively. Let's go rook d4. And I'll just bring this guy here. Wants rook e8, which is a little bit annoying, but what can you do? Let's double. And let's just drop back. I don't really see any huge threats for black here. Because 2 extra pawns are good not just in the endgame, 2 extra pawns are good in all positions by virtue of controlling extra squares. So generally we feel comfortable with 2 extra pawns. Queen b3, that would be very funny. Very funny indeed. Okay, b6. So we're not in any particular rush here. But I think we're just gonna try to slowly expand. Maybe even e4. Now e4 I don't like, kind of weakening. Maybe h4. Can also play h3. Feels like I'm paralyzed by how many good options there are for white. Lots of good options. Okay, let's play h3. And we'll think about gaining some space. Ooh, no, f3, e4. I don't like f3 just because... Why block our own bishop? I think that's just going to make life harder for us. Another plan would be to push like e4, f4. Okay, queen e6. Blundered this one, of course. But we'll try to make it work. Looks like we have this move. So, yeah. Just 2 tactics, guys. Just 2 tactics. I'll grab this queen. And okay, we're just gonna trade rooks. Nothing fancy. Okay, doesn't want the trade, that's fine. Maybe we'll just activate our pieces. Let's give this check. Okay, let's play rook f4. Again, we just want to trade off pair of rooks and should be easy. Thank you, thank you. Oh, thanks for the follow, Wizo. Much appreciated. Okay, just bringing in my queen, setting a trap if rook e7. We're just gonna take it. Puzzle rush style. Oh, there it is. And that's how you finish. All right, that's gonna be a GG.